So let's talk about scholarship. You see, this is a bit different from my usual episodes where I usually talk about social media strategy for business, podcast tips, interview tips, and content creation, but this episode is not related to any of this, right? And the reason I published this episode is because, first, the global pandemic that happened in 2020 is still not done yet, which means a lot of people got laid off from the job and some of them have no enough money to pay off their debt, right? So that's the first reason. And the second reason is this podcast was originally about helping college students. You know, the college students that are into entrepreneurships, or the college students that are really into the future about all things entrepreneurs, right? And if you scroll all the way down to my early episodes, you can see that it was all about how to get careers after college, how to answer interview questions from the employers, and yeah, a lot of and all that stuff. And there was actually an episode about how to build a software apps, kind of like that. Okay. But after a while, I niched down a little bit, and that's how I got to this niche, okay, the social media niche. Alright, so today's guest is Jean O'Toole. She's a co-founder of Connections 101 and a scholarship expert. So for over 10 years, she has helped thousands of students find outside scholarships to reduce college debt, and also help students attend college for free. Yeah, for free. And she has a book, Scholarship Strategies, Finding and Winning the Money You Need. And this book outlines 25 scholarship strategies to help students and families find the right scholarships. Okay, so that's basically her intro. And today we're going to talk about the 4-step process to apply and win scholarships, the many types of scholarship you can take advantage on, how you can use scholarship for business, games, podcasting, and just about anything. And I actually quite surprised that there are a lot of scholarship that you can apply. I mean, there's a scholarship for travel, there's a scholarship for playing games, right? There's a lot. You'll be surprised how many of scholarship that you can actually apply. Now, a quick fun fact here. She's the first ever guest that has come to this show 2 times. Wow, 2 times, okay? And the first time was in episode 24, I guess. Yeah, it was episode 24. And oh yeah, that should be the third reason, right? The third reason. And yeah. Alright, before we get started, if you'd like to discover how you can use social media to build an audience, how to create content that leads to sales, how to close high-ticket offers, so make sure to subscribe to this podcast, Focus on Winning Podcast. Okay, let's begin.
So the real question is this: how would an entrepreneur like us, who literally start from nothing or has limited resources and yet still wants to build an empire, join Ashraf as he answers this big question so you can apply it too. Welcome to Focus on Winning.
Hey Jean, welcome to the Focus on Winning podcast. I'm so glad to have you again here.
I'm so excited to be back here. How are you?
Oh, it's so awesome today. I mean, I have a lot of tasks that I have done, and I've been doing great since we've met.
Fantastic.
So,
and I love your Yankees hat too. So that's, even better.
You.
Yeah.
Thank you. So, how about you say what's up to our winners too?
Yeah. Hi, everybody. I'm Jean. And if you didn't catch our last session,
Interview.
my last conversation with Ashraf last time, I am a scholarship strategist, and I am an expert in outside scholarships. So scholarships that are from companies, organizations, individuals, foundations, and, scholarships where if a student wins them, they can use that money for educational expenses at any college or university. So lots of opportunity out there. And I'm really excited, Asraf, since the last time that you and I chatted, my book, Scholarship Strategies, actually became a bestseller. So we're really excited about that. Super cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
So, we've been knowing each other for 1 year, and we have talked a lot about strategies, scholarship strategies, how to get them, how to prepare for it, even what kind of scholarships, right? So what improvement have you made so far since we met? Like, is there an improvement about strategies or the impact of student?
Yeah, I mean, well, first of all, the impact of how scholarships can really shift and transform a family's situation has been hugely changed with the worldwide pandemic. COVID-19 really has, it's really impacted all of us, right? Lots of folks were either out of work or not able to work as much, and just the whole financial life for most of us, literally around the world, has shifted and changed. So the importance of scholarships as far as an additional way to reduce college costs is more important than ever before.
So what kind of improvement have you made so far?
Yeah. So we have, we've been able to, since our last chat, we've been able to really, find ways to be able to, help students all around the world. I'm the co-founder of Connections 101, which is actually located in New York City. But we work with families all over the world. Through now we're able to help families virtually, right? Through, individual coaching. I've been running scholarship clubs that happen virtually as a group, and that's a whole new experience. It's been a big shift, because usually schools pay us to come in, run the programs for the students, and now, since we've all been working in Zoom rooms and Skype rooms and spaces like this, we need to be able to help one another, and it's just, there's some great little lights that have popped up at the end of the tunnel, and one has been being able to virtually work with now students everywhere. So that's been extremely exciting.
Wow, that's a huge improvement. I mean, did you use these strategies before, or is this the new strategies?
Yeah, so there's 25 strategies that are actually featured in our scholarship resource guide, and some of them now are more important than ever. We've been using these strategies now for over 10 years. Helping students find, tens of thousands of dollars. In fact, I don't want to forget to tell you, I just got a notification about another recent big scholarship winner. There was a young lady who was a graduating high school senior who I met just a few months ago, and she took the strategy, she ran with it, and she ended up winning for herself one scholarship that is $10,000 a year US for 4 years. So that's $40,000 US. Plus she won another scholarship already that's $2,500. So already in just a few months of time, and she's still got more awards to come in, she's already won $42,500, which is so exciting. Yeah, I know. It's awesome. So, the strategies, I'll tell you, right now, one major strategy that is definitely a new strategy that's timely for what's been happening in our world is, and I encourage anyone who's watching the show, listening to the show, to think about what have you done and what could you do during this time of this, pandemic that's happening around the world? What can you do to add your energy to help others? Because, helping others, there's huge amounts of money in community service, scholarships. And this is an opportunity. I mean, wherever you are in the world, have you strategically, like think about it, to use your time and energy to help a neighbor, help the community, reach out. And because this is a time that you can take action, and scholarship committees can, reward you for that down the road.
So the scholarship strategies is more focused on the high school students, or do you have?
That's a really great question.
Students?
Yeah. So that's a really great question. So, no, not just high school students. So there's scholarships, from companies, organizations, individuals, foundations, for students at any age, any stage of life. So if you are, an undergrad at college or university, if you are a graduate student, if you are, heading off to med school, heading off to law school, if you are an adult who is going back to school because you want to, improve yourself to advance within your own career, there's opportunities. There's even scholarships for younger kids. So what I tell families all the time, just as the reminder, is that at any age and any stage of life, there are scholarships if you want to pursue them to help you with your educational goals.
So is there even a scholarship for an employee?
Yeah, sure. So, some companies will have scholarship programs, and you should always check with the human resources department at your companies to find out if there's a scholarship. You should also check with your own, if you're part of any unions, if you're part of any local clubs, local organizations, see if there's scholarships for family members. Absolutely. And I want to encourage anyone also who's listening and watching out there, is that small business owners can really, really benefit by putting together a scholarship. I'm a huge advocate for scholarship creation because it's a major win-win for local small businesses. I mean, there could be, you could put together even taking a small amount of money, let's say $500 US, and instead of using that for Facebook ads or web advertising, right? Like, what if you use that actually for creating a scholarship? And then you could actually reach out to universities, you could reach out to schools, you could reach out to whoever it is that you as a business are trying to target. And you could say, hey, you know what? I have a scholarship and this is what I'm going to be awarding. Post it on your website. That traffic will be driven to your website. It'll increase your social media. And when you do offer a scholarship as a small business, guess what? Media loves that. Like, they want to announce that. They want to post it in the newspapers, announce it on radio shows, announce it on television shows, and then you give the scholarship away. Again, another whole flood of media. So guess what? That small amount of money that maybe you would have spent on, advertising or outreach in some other area can actually yield you as a business, sometimes 4 or 5, 6 times that, as far as reach. And then you've also helped someone out with their education. Pretty amazing.
Wow. And I never knew you could use scholarship from the university for business owner.
It's not a scholarship. It's not a scholarship from the university, right? It would be a scholarship. It could be a scholarship. Let's say Ashraf, you wanted to put together a scholarship for your show, right? And maybe you want to, honor, you get to decide what the scholarship is about, but let's say you wanted to honor young people who wanted to go into media, right? And you could literally have that scholarship posted at every university, even worldwide, that has a communications department, right? And all those people are going to be coming to your website to get that application. And you then get to, award that money. Because see, this is the thing. This is what people need to understand. There are two types of scholarships out there. One that are scholarships from a university. You win the money, you got to use it at that university. Okay, that's my company's in New York City. A lot of people know NYU, New York University. I personally live in New Jersey in the States. So that's where Princeton is, right? So if somebody gets accepted, gets a scholarship from Princeton, they have to use the scholarship at Princeton. They get a scholarship from New York University, they have to use it at that university. But the scholarship from Google, the scholarship from Burger King, the scholarship from, any number of organizations or companies, could even be your company. A student wins that money. They can use it anywhere they go. They could use it for the books or their travel expenses or, their other expenses that they have for school. And that is what is so exciting. That's why this could be a game changer.
So you're saying that we can apply a scholarship from Google and then use it to travel? Or is
you're able to, every scholarship will have their own criteria, right? They'll list their own criteria in the scholarship. And some scholarships they'll say right there in their fine print that if you win it, you have to tell us where you're going to school, and then they send that money directly to the school for your account, right? Or you get a check in the mail. So some scholarships that I won were sent directly to the university that I went to, the college that I went to, and some I got a check in the mail. It depends. I will tell you, the larger the scholarship is, the more likely it is going to be a scholarship that will be sent directly, to your account at the college or the university. But, there's scholarships that could be $1,000, $5,000, $2,500 where you're getting that check in the mail, and you're able to use it at whatever type of educational expenses you have. If you are somebody who doesn't have to pay for college, maybe the university is giving you a full ride. You have no, then I would say strategically, you want to look and apply for scholarships that are not going to send the award directly to the college or the university, right? You want to strategically put your time and energy behind scholarships where you will directly get the award for yourself.
All right. So how do they decide if that scholarship is the right for them? Like, do they have to choose, let's say they stay in the New Jersey, and do they have to choose from New Jersey or from Google? Like, do you mean like, how do I know where how this scholarship is going to be awarded? No, how do they apply for the right scholarships? Like you mentioned earlier that if they stay in New Jersey, they have to get it from New Jersey. And let's say if there's a scholarship that is from a specific university. So I was mentioning a lot of people are familiar with Princeton University. Okay. Princeton University is in New Jersey. And if you get a particular scholarship that is from Princeton, I can't use it at Harvard, right? Okay. I can't use it at Harvard. I can only use it at Princeton. All right. So that is what's called a college specific scholarship. Right. But there are, so that is, and frankly, those are the scholarships that most people are focused on because they're applying for colleges or universities and they want to know. And you should always take a look at those opportunities. But
Now more than ever, families, wherever you are, should be looking at private scholarships in addition, because you can stack the money. You can keep stacking the money. There's no cap on scholarships. So let's say you are that student who gets a scholarship from Princeton University. You're going to go to Princeton University and you take that scholarship from Princeton University. Guess what? Let's also stack on top of it the scholarship from Google. Let's stack on top of it the scholarship from Burger King, right? Let's stack on top of it all that other money as well, right? There's no cap on outside scholarships, and you can win as much as you can.
Nice. So there's no limits.
No limits. You know, if the only time that there would be scholarships that you would no longer be eligible for is if there is a scholarship that you're applying to that relates to financial need, right? Because if you are being awarded, let's say, a scholarship from a college or university, and it removes the financial need, right, of your family, then if there is a scholarship from a private organization that is connected to financial need, you are no longer eligible, right? But financial need is just one of many, many, many categories. I'll tell you, Ashraf, there's, you know, everybody thinks that scholarships are only for people who have the top grades, are the top athletes, or have financial need. Nothing could be further from the truth. I mean, if there's money for those students, sure. But there's scholarships if you simply choose to write a poem, create an interesting video, if you want to, for students who have done some sort of community outreach, right? Community service, tons of different scholarships, and not just all related to grade, sports, or financial need.
Yeah, I remember you mentioned it in a podcast before that you say that it's about travel, and you can also apply for Doodle for Google.
Yeah, the Doodle for Google scholarship. I'm glad you remembered that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the name is kind of catchy, so it kind of sticks out to me. So Jean, you know, everything sounds so awesome. Yeah, you mean like how can they win that? Like a lot of people can bring those money into their accounts. So how about you share us a step-by-step process on how to get that scholarship, how to win that?
So first of all, I want to say such a great question, because this is the question that I get all the time. Like, how do I actually get started? How do I do this? I want to let everyone know I actually have, there's a free downloadable PDF at our website, which is connections101.com. And on just how to get started, you know, easy and how to get started. But I'll break it down super simple for people to go after this money. Okay. So number one is, the first step is to create what I call your personal search engine list. So this is a really important step. And it's what a personal search engine list is. It's basically a big description about you. Like, you know, what have you done in the classroom, outside of the classroom? You know, what are your, the clubs, the activities that you've been part of? And also,
it's kind of like resume, right?
Yeah. It's like that resume of all the things that you've gotten done, but also too, and this is a biggie, in that personal search engine list, I want you to list all of what I call ready to go material. So ready to go material are all of the essays, the papers, the projects, the things that you did either in university or in secondary school, that you had as homework. It's already written. It's already done. Let's make a list of all of those things, because your time's already been spent. Let's find a scholarship connected to that, right? If you know, it doesn't matter if you are going to be, let's say, a future business major or an engineering major. You could take the poem that you wrote in school, and most of us have to write a poem at some class at school. You could take the poem that you wrote, apply for a ton of poetry scholarships, take that money, pay for the business degree, take that money, pay for the engineering degree. It's ready to go material. So this is all part of step number one, just putting all of this together. So this is kind of opening up our mind right from the beginning of all the opportunities that we could be searching on, right? And then step number two, where you find all these scholarships. So there's 4 places you can find scholarships. Definitely through your school, and that's either your college or university or your high school. They're going to know about the different local scholarships that are available just for students at those campuses, and ask questions. Like, ask questions, find out, what are those opportunities? What are they looking for in ideal candidates? What do I need to do to qualify? Because what happens is we don't take that time to find out what am I going to do to be the best qualified candidate? Let's qualify ourselves so I can get that money.
Right.
Second place we find second place we find the money is something you mentioned just earlier, and that is through our family members, right? Checking out with family member companies, checking out with family members unions or clubs or organizations. Third place would be book directories, and fourth place would be online sources. I actually have a list of tons of scholarship search engines that I recommend. I have no affiliation with any of them. At our website, connections101.com, go ahead, print it out, and go to town. And then the last major step is how you actually organize yourself, right? So this is really super important, because if it's overwhelming or if it feels like it's too much, we won't do it. We stop dead in our tracks. And so getting ourselves organized is the key to making this easy. Okay. So organize your scholarships by month and year. Focus on at scholarships that are due just this month, right? You come across a scholarship that is due 6 months from now, or it's a scholarship that is just for students in law school, and you are years away from your plans at law school. Hey, guess what? Just copy and paste that link, put it into a virtual calendar for yourself. So that way you won't have to search for it again. It'll already be there. And then organize your time. I mean, I recommend a half hour 3 times a week for, applying for scholarships. You can always up it if you get inspired, but small, doable pieces of time to dedicate to this. Doesn't have to be a part-time job, and we can get out a lot of applications.
Nice. So I want to go back into what you're saying. The first step is have a search engine, kind of like the name.
Creating what I call a personal search engine list. This becomes it's like your Google list, right? Like everything about you. I mean, yeah.
How do they put it?
Sure. An easy way to kind of brainstorm your personal search engine list is thinking about what you did in your past, what you're doing now, and what you want to do in your future, right? So past, present, future. And also who you are. Like, there's scholarships if you're tall, there's scholarships if you're short, there's scholarships if you are religious, there's scholarships if you're not religious. Who are you? Like, put it down on a big brainstorm. I actually recommend anyone who's doing this, you should do it as like a fun brainstorming exercise with the people in your life who know you best. Your family, your girlfriends, your boyfriends, whoever it is, in your life who know you best. Have them help you organize, just help you brainstorm to think about everything about who you are. Because what happens, Ashraf, is that people get so focused on, here's what I want to do with my life. And they just focus on scholarships for that, right? Okay. And there's so much more than that. Example, if you play video games, guess what? There's scholarships for playing video games. Do you have pets at home? Guess what? You can apply for scholarships for caring for animals. I mean, we are so much more than just what we want to do with our life or our grade point average. Yeah.
where do they put this personal engine, search engine? Oh God, so hard the name.
The
Where do
personal
they
search
put
engine
this?
list. Yeah.
Yes.
So this
personal
becomes the
search
personal search engine list becomes your tool. It becomes your tool for you to search on use to search on for money.
So it's a
that way
part of a ready to go list.
Yeah, well, you're going to add your ready to go materials to, that list. So let's say on your personal search engine list, you've listed your career goal. You've listed, the physical characteristics about you, where you live, where you're from, your GPA, and then you're going to add all those ready to go materials, all the papers, projects, essays, poems, things that you did in classrooms, outside of classrooms. Add all of those to the list, because this now becomes they each become your almost like your search word, right? It's like these become your Google search words, right? These become your search, every one of those topics. Let's go find some scholarships for them. So you want to do a big old brainstorm on your personal search engine list. More opportunities means more scholarships that you can apply for.
Okay, now I get it. All right. So the third one is I think it's about managing ourselves, where we just
organizing our time. Yeah. I mean, organizing our time, the more that we can be organized, the easier and more simplified this can be. So often people will say, does this have to be some sort of part-time job? I don't want to, I don't have a lot of time, and it doesn't have to take a lot of time. Let's focus on, again, key here. This is an important, tip. You want to focus on 1 month at a time. So what are the scholarships that are due just this month? Okay. Next month's scholarship, I'll get to those in a few weeks, right? So I want you to focus on 1 month at a time. As you come across scholarships that have future deadlines, just copy that link, put it in and paste it into a virtual calendar for yourself. So, and a little helpful tip here is, to put it all, to keep an ongoing list in maybe the first day of every month in your virtual calendar. Okay. So that way I'm not looking all over for when these deadlines are going to be. I look up, like you said, maybe the Doodle for Google scholarship and I, post that in the month for their deadline. And, then I can always take a look. Cause here's the deal. Sometimes, right? Because the year can change from year to year. A deadline may shift from the middle of the month to the last day of the month or the beginning of the month. But most scholarship committees will keep a scholarship within that month. So if you've copy and pasted all to that first day of the month, then you have everything right there. You don't have to keep searching, and you can also, look back. Or have it be something that's an ongoing thing that's, for every year, because scholarships renew, you can apply for them again. Let's do the research once and not have to keep going back.
So Jean, what you are suggesting is we just have to have some sheets of paper and then just put every data that we have, right?
I would suggest a virtual calendar. I mean, I personally like
virtual calendar.
Yeah, use a virtual calendar. So that way you don't have to, keep a whole bunch of paper around. I mean, if you want to, that's fine, but it'll save you time and energy. If you, you create maybe a Google Calendar or some sort of virtual calendar, for yourself, and just copy that link, paste it, and that way you have it ready to go.
Awesome strategy there. So, okay, I know, Jean, that you are a scholarship strategist. Does that mean you kind of like a connector between a scholarship giver and the applier?
Yeah, I definitely I am super passionate about helping people help themselves. So, I want people to not be overwhelmed with this process. I want to help them find more money and help them understand which scholarships have the best chances of winning. So, what we do at Connections 101 is, we whether you want to work with us, individually as a family, or you want to be part of a scholarship club, which I'd highly recommend. It's such an amazing way when you are working together to find more scholarships faster. And I help to guide people on, strategically how you use your time and energy in the best possible way.
All right, there you go. The first part of how to find and win scholarship for college, business, and anything. Okay. So before we end here, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. So the next part will be delivered right into your podcast platform, okay, which will be live on Wednesday. So make sure to subscribe to this podcast. Subscribe. Okay. Anyway, always remember that winners focus on winning. Until then, stay winning.
Hey, thank you for listening. We hope you can implement everything from this episode. And would you like to know more about business strategies and life hacks that you can apply right now? If so, subscribe to this podcast so you can become the best you.